Good day, human Ladiocytes, this is Ladios Azurill. As we sit back and enjoy generation after generation of Pokemon games, we enjoy the nostalgia of the past, and the excitement of the future. Thus, we always look forward to new games coming out. However, main series Pokemon games are, well, I guess kind of many, but still far between. Thus, we treat ourselves to new adventures in ROM hacked modded versions. Many of these even have the potential to have deeper, more intense, and even longer stories, as they are created by the fans of the series themselves. In fact, I have even made a few Pokemon ROM hacks. When I want a change of pace after playing the same main series Pokemon games on loop, I always seem to gravitate toward one of these ROM hacks, whether it's for a new challenge, a new story, or trying out a playthrough with a unique team that a ROM hack can only offer. So sit back, relax, and enjoy my countdown of my 5 favorite Pokemon ROM hacks for the Game Boy Advance. However, there are some honorable mention games I would like to note, as it was very difficult to narrow this list down to just 5. There is Pokemon Adventure Rad, which is the story of the manga brought to life in the interactive form of a game. Since I am not familiar with the manga, I can't really confirm how accurate the interpretation is, but it was an awesome game. There are also the Pokemon Ruby Destiny games, Reign of Legends, Life of Guardians, and Rescue Rangers. They use fake Pokemon or fan-made Pokemon in telling their story, which I am not a big fan of, but they do contribute to the plot in these cases. Rescue Rangers is even set up like a mystery dungeon game, with the player turned into a Pikachu. Pokemon Dark Rising is an awesome game with the interesting story, but is to me ultimately a little too difficult. I mean, I guess a challenge isn't a bad thing every once in a while, and you do start with a dragon, which is kinda cool. Pokemon Shiny Gold Axe is a difficult GBA version of Pokemon Gold, which is challenging but nostalgic. Pokemon Resolute is an epic follow-up to Victory Fire featuring Keldeo. And I couldn't keep Pokemon Snakewood off this list, since it's a well-made game that's a zombie apocalypse in Hoenn. I'm personally not a fan of zombies, and was thus not very big with Snakewood, but it was still objectively a great game, and if you love zombies, Pokemon, and well, zombified Pokemon, make sure to check it out. But of these honorable mention games, my personal favorite was Pokemon Victory Fire. It has it all. Action from the beginning, a new story, a new region, 4th and 5th generation Pokemon, and many difficult challenges. My biggest concern, while not trying to be the grammar police, was its severe grammar errors, especially involving spacing between words. Normally, grammar errors aren't too much of an issue in games, but here they were too frequent, and sort of interfere with the story. I also got confused where to go at some points in the story while playing the game, which was unfortunate, but it was ultimately a greatly enjoyable game. Pokemon Liquid Crystal by Link and Zelda and Sinister Zeku is an epic GBA remake of Pokemon Crystal. It is set in the Johto region, and the Kanto region, and the Valencia Islands. They took an old nostalgic story, updated it, and added to it more story. Thus, there were more gyms, and by extension, more challenges, including new evil teams. I did get confused quite often about where to go after arriving in the Valencia Islands, as well as surprised when the music went out during several wild battles there. But other than that, it was a joyous game to play through. With the custom remixed Johto music in the background, how could anyone resist Pokemon Liquid Crystal? It's the night before you can get a Pokemon, and go on a journey to be a Pokemon Master. Then you oversleep. Even as someone who isn't a fan of the anime, I can agree that Pokemon Ash Gray by Metapod23 is a masterpiece. With the entire Indigo League adventures, the Adventures in the Orange Island, and 2 movies, how could anyone resist wearing that iconic outfit, picking up a Pikachu by default, stopping Team Rocket time after time, and following Ash's footsteps throughout the Pokemon world through each episode of the anime? Maybe you too can train your Pikachu to be strong enough to lose to a level 5 Snivy. Hey, wait a minute. How would you like to explore 2 new regions with your favorite Pokemon from the first 5 generations? In Pokemon Light Platinum by Wesley FG, you can. Explore 2 new regions, Zeri and Lauren, new maps, new gyms, and a separate Pokemon League for each region. After you glide on your Skarmory to victory after defeating the second Pokemon League, just when you think this epic story has finally come to a close, you are invited to the World Championship, where you can prove to be the very best, like no one ever was. You can also capture all the legendary Pokemon. With awesome new features including certain TMs being used outside of battle, and fun minigames, what's not to love about Pokemon Light Platinum? I've even heard word that a DS version of Light Platinum is currently under construction. Here's looking forward to that! I love catching all of the Pokemon, and my favorite legendary Pokemon is Shaman. Put it all together to find that it's no secret that I love Pokemon Flora Sky by Sky. With a new story and a new region with an entirely new map, this game, despite its lengthy story, is worth every minute. Combined with its complement Dex version, every single Pokemon from the first 5 generations, from Bulbasaur to Genesect, is obtainable, most of which even having their actual cry, which is practically unheard of in Game Boy Advance games. There are also exciting minigames to play. With perhaps one of the longest post-games ever, you are sure to never get bored while you capture your shiny Shaman and try to catch them all in Pokemon Flora Sky. Also, once you finish the story and fill up the Pokédex, there is a final challenge that you wouldn't believe. Do you like Pokemon? Do you like donuts? Take a journey in Pokemon Glazed by Red Riders 180, or Luck Boy, in the region of Tunod, which is donuts spelled backward. Once you defeat a greedy man seeking the ultimate TM, as well as the Tunod Pokemon League, hop on a plane over to a havoc-stricken Johto region as Mount Silver has erupted, leaving Lance missing. Defeat the Johto gyms as well as its own Pokemon League just to follow a villain to yet another region, Rancor, composed of a series of islands. With an extended story, fun minigames like mining for shards and skiing, the ability to re-battle many trainers, and a bunch of legendary Pokemon to catch, you're sure to find hours of entertainment. There is a rather disproportional difficulty level between the beginning and end of the game, but that is likely the result of the game's extreme length. The game even includes the physical special attack split and the Fairy type, with several 6th generation Pokemon. However, this does cause an odd glitch, where all eggs are labeled as the Fairy type, since the Fairy typing did replace the triple question mark typing, which is rather inconsequential though. With a championship battle to remember, a Master Ball shop, and a donut shop at the end, there is so much to love about my favorite Pokemon GBA Rom hack, Pokemon Glazed. So, thank you for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. If there are any Pokemon GBA Rom hacks that you simply love and were not on this list, please feel free to mention them in the comments below. As I admit, I have not played every single Pokemon ROM hack in existence. I don't even think that would be logistically possible. Okay, so have an awesome day, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.